Climate change is a process that has been happening for a long time, but only recently we could feel the effects of climate on the planet at extreme levels. As greenhouse gas emissions continue to rise, the planet is experiencing a range of adverse effects, such as extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and disruptions to ecosystems. And these impacts on the planet certainly have economic consequences that challenge the flow of several sectors. However, there are solutions that we can work towards that could reduce these effects and create a sustainable future. Welcome to the Wealth Watcher. In the case of all kinds of economy-related concepts, this is the channel for you. First of all, let's see what exactly climate change is. The term climate change refers to all types of long-term alterations in temperature, precipitation patterns, wind patterns, and other aspects of the climate system on Earth. For millions of years since its formation, several factors like volcanic eruptions and changes in solar radiation have contributed to varying the climate on Earth naturally. Currently, however, the biggest threat to the climate system is human-induced global warming. The primary cause of global warming is the growing concentration of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide in Earth's atmosphere. These gases confine heat from the sun and preventing it from escaping back into space. This leads to a gradual increase in global temperatures. This is referred to as the greenhouse effect. The factors that contribute greatly to climate change are the emission of greenhouse gases by activities like burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, various industrial processes such as mining and manufacturing, large-scale deforestation for purposes like agriculture and urbanization, and various agricultural practices that produce methane and nitrous oxide, such as livestock farming and use of synthetic fertilizers. It's important to remember that while natural occurrences like volcanic activity and variations of solar radiation do contribute to the change of climate, the current increased rate of climate change is due to human activities. So, finding solutions for climate change is up to us mere humans. While climate change has its negative influences on the world as a whole, its impact on the global economy alone is significantly immense. Climate change affects various sectors of the economy and shows challenging effects towards the growth and stability of the economy. Some of the aspects of the economy affected by climate change are as follows. The first economic effect of climate change can be discussed as the increased economic costs and losses. One of the effects of climate change on nature is it leads to severe and more frequent weather conditions like floods, wildfires, and hurricanes that result in large-scale damage to properties, infrastructure, as well as agricultural crops. These damages, and the expenses related to rebuilding, repairs, and insurance claims impose considerable economic costs on individuals as well as businesses and governments. The frequency and intensity of such events have negative effects on economic growth. These extreme weather conditions and natural results in disruptions in trade and supply chains as well. These events related to climate change can end up throwing the global supply chain into disarray, and that leads to delays in production, distribution, and trade as floods, storms, and heat waves can damage transportation infrastructure as well as roads and ports. Increased costs and reduced productivity caused by such events have the ability to affect both domestic and international trade. Climate change can drastically affect global food security and agricultural systems. Changes in temperature and disruptive precipitation patterns directly affect crop yields and livestock productivity. Extreme weather conditions such as floods and droughts can result in reduced harvests and crop failures. These impacts on agriculture threaten food security as well as cause increased food prices. While this affects badly on the economy as a whole, it could particularly impact low-income populations as well as small-scale farmers. Another aspect that climate change impacts is water scarcity. climate changes affect water resources and precipitation patterns, causing droughts as well as erratic rainfall. Those events result in water scarcity and impact water availability for sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and energy. Water scarcity can end up causing reduced agricultural productivity as well as potential conflicts over water resources. Decreased crop yields, requiring high-quality and expensive infrastructure for water management, and higher costs for water-dependent industries are the economic consequences of water scarcity. The impact of climate change on global tourism is another sector that has to be considered. Tourism is an industry that contributes immensely to the majority of economies. Sea level rising, temperature rising, and changes in weather patterns can negatively affect natural attractions like beaches, coral reefs, mountains, and national parks. And those attractions are why tourism exists in the first place. If they're harmed, they lose their significance and attraction. Extreme weather like hurricanes and wildfires can disrupt tourism activities at great levels. The impacts on tourism don't just stop at the loss of jobs. They will lead to decreased tourism revenue and reduced economic opportunities for communities dependent on tourism. As discussed, the effects of climate change are not limited to one sector of the economy. In some sectors, while the effect doesn't seem that immense at first glance, there are drastic impacts on the economy in the long run. As much as the challenges and negative effects of climate change on the economy, there are solutions that can be adopted to reduce the economic impacts of climate change. What are the solutions for mitigating and adapting to the economic effects of climate change? First and foremost, the most basic solution is to shift towards a low-carbon economy. The idea of shifting away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy sources seems feasible, but making it a reality requires support from everyone. The renewable energy sources in question include solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. Governments and businesses alike should promote and invest in the development and deployment of renewable energy technologies, or green technologies as knowingly dubbed. Providing financial and other necessary support towards research and development of such energy technologies, as well as discouraging the usage of fossil fuels, can improve the transition towards a low-carbon economy. Another way to mitigate the economic effects of climate change is to enhance energy efficiency. The goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and energy costs. Improving energy efficiency in various sectors, including buildings, transportation, and manufacturing, could lead to reducing the costs allocated for energy. Governments have a strong part to play in such situations. They can establish and enforce energy efficiency standards, promote and encourage energy-efficient technologies, as well as spread public awareness of energy conservation. While promoting energy efficiency, it is important to preserve and restore forest areas as well. Forests absorb and store carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas. Reducing deforestation not only aids in preserving biodiversity, but also in supporting the livelihoods of the locals. While those solutions wouldn't culminate in climate change completely, it's essential to take steps to prevent damage caused by those drastic changes in weather. So, for businesses of all kinds, investing in climate-resilient infrastructure is another solution towards adapting to climate change. Infrastructure projects should consider future climate scenarios, taking into account factors such as sea level rise, increased precipitation patterns, and other extreme weather events. Climate-resilient infrastructure can minimize damage from climate-related events, ensure continuity of essential services, and in the long run it will help in economic growth and stability. Predicting the damage and risks of extreme weather conditions caused by climate change is a little difficult most of the time, as most of the time we don't know what to expect. That's why it's essential to adopt risk management and insurance strategies. This includes evaluating vulnerabilities, developing adaptation plans, and implementing early warning systems to enhance preparedness and reduce potential losses. Insurance mechanisms, such as climate risk insurance and micro-insurance, can provide financial protection to individuals and businesses affected by climate change impacts. Implementing sustainable agricultural practices can enhance resilience, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and ensure food security. That's another solution as to how to adapt to economic effects caused by changes in climate. This includes promoting climate-smart agriculture techniques, such as conservation agriculture, agroforestry, and precision farming. Investing in research and development of climate-resilient crops and promoting sustainable food systems, including reduced food waste and more plant-based diets, can contribute to the economic effects of climate change are multifaceted and pose significant challenges to global prosperity. With collective action, we can build a resilient and sustainable economy that benefits both current and future generations. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Wealth Watcher and click on the notification bell to stay connected with more content like this.